Morgen, Miguel from Los Angeles, and guten Nacht to you in Bonn, Germany.
Guten Morgen.
Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I wanted to talk a little bit about your background. You have been with the United Nations Climate Change Secretariat since 2011, and prior to that, you first became involved in climate change, working on a greenhouse gas reduction project and helping to develop Costa Rica's national climate change strategy. But since you've been at the Secretariat, you have been focused on capacity building for mitigation and carbon market mechanisms, promotion of voluntary climate action among the private sector, and development of tools for implementing climate action. I also wanted to thank you for your support of TCR's newly launched initiative, the Climate Neutrality Database Project. And this project, as you know, aims to provide transparent information about climate neutrality and net zero pledges and pathways from the local to the international level.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And I think it's something that can support Race to Zero and what we will be talking about.
And that's a perfect segue into my first question, because I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about two initiatives you're involved with at the Secretariat. One is the Climate Neutral Now project, and the other is the Race to Zero campaign. So can you describe a little bit about these two initiatives and how they intersect?
Thank you. Yes, so thank you very much for the opportunity to share with everyone. Let me start with the second, with Race to Zero, because it's a bigger umbrella for climate action under which Climate Neutral Now actually may fall. So Race to Zero is a campaign, so it's not a new initiative or a new thing. It's a campaign that aims to bring together all their already existing initiatives and coalitions on trying to achieve net zero. Basically, this balance between emissions that we produce globally as a society and the emissions that the Earth can manage without any more global warming. So it's being led by our global climate action champions, which are representatives from the presidencies of the COP, both the current presidency, Chile, and the upcoming presidency, the UK. And they are the ones behind the campaign. And the Secretariat, the Climate Change Secretariat, we support the work of the champions and help them with the implementation of the campaign together with our partners. So the idea with Race to Zero is to bring together, again, networks and initiatives that have committed or want to commit to achieving net zero by 2050 or earlier. So if you're an individual organization that wants to join that kind of commitment, make that commitment and report on how you're getting there or how you will get and are getting there, then you join one of the partner initiatives or one of the initiatives that is part of the Race to Zero. You don't come directly to Race to Zero, but rather go to the big corporation initiative or science-based targets on another hand, or the different initiatives that are aligning with the net zero target. And then Climate Neutral Now is potentially one of these initiatives, is one of the initiatives that can guide you to enter the Race to Zero, meaning defining as a target or committing to a target of achieving net zero status, and then going through the process of actually developing a plan and implementing it and reporting on it. We work with individual organizations, so individual companies and organizations of all kinds can make a commitment to Climate Neutral Now, where they commit precisely to help achieve this net zero target, and they do it through their own action to measure or quantify their emissions, try to reduce them through their own action, and then potentially also compensating whatever they cannot currently avoid. So Climate Neutral Now is more, let's say, a specific organization by organization in the collaboration, and Race to Zero is an umbrella that aims to bring together all of these initiatives at global level.
Got it. That's wonderful to hear that that work is going on. And can you give us an early peek as to how climate neutrality or net zero might be included in the agenda for COP26?
Yes, sure. I mean, climate neutrality, net zero. I'm very happy to see how popular it has become. Right? How famous the term has become now. When we started with climate neutral now 5 years ago, it was nowhere where it is now in terms of awareness of organizations and individuals. So it's really good. And COP26 is definitely going to try to build on that. The idea is for the race to zero will have definitely a central position in the non-party stakeholder, everyone who is not a national government area of the COP, and definitely is already part of the party or national government negotiation side, right? The Paris Agreement itself refers to net zero or climate neutrality, depending how you want to call it. Definitions are still a little bit vague, and there's not full clarity about do they mean the same or do they have slightly different meanings. But in any case, the concept of achieving this balance between emissions and the capacity of the Earth to manage them without further global warming is reflected in the Paris Agreement. So it is central to all conversations around the negotiations. And in the outside of the negotiations, it will be a central piece of the work during COP by the climate action champions, by the presidency of the COP, and also with support of the Secretariat. And there are many initiatives going on that are related and supporting that. The climate neutrality database that you're working on, which has a huge potential to support the work of Race to Zero, I think. And also things like ISO, the International Standardization Organization. They have just started work on a carbon neutrality standard. It will take a few years to be approved, but it shows the level of interest and the relevance of having this clarity on what it means to be, in this case, carbon neutral, climate neutral, net zero at organization level. What that claim actually is, have the transparency as well on what your claim actually includes. And they will probably be also sharing some of the initial work being done or the initial thinking during COP. So these are some of the things that I am aware about, but I'm sure that a lot more will come when COP is closer.
Yes, well, we still have more than a year away to prepare for it, so there's plenty of time to get ready, but looking forward to that meeting in Glasgow next year. There is these wonderful initiatives that are moving forward in collaboration among organizations, and just wondering what else gives you hope and inspiration for the future in terms of advancing climate change initiatives and keeping the momentum going, especially with the challenges of also dealing with a global pandemic and other issues, racial injustice and other issues in the world that we also have to face.
So it's probably several things. One in particularly related to the current pandemic. It's very inspiring. It's wonderful to see that so many. I think every organization keeps thinking about climate. Governments and private sector and NGOs and individuals, they keep thinking about climate and we need to act, and they are not giving climate a break, right, or climate change a break. In spite of the current difficult situation, right? Everybody continues to address this the best they can in spite of the pandemic. So it's amazing. I think in other times, I would dare say, they would have put climate change completely second place. Let's focus on just recovery from the pandemic and economic recovery. And this time, you always hear, and I hope it's not just within my bubble, I don't think it is, you hear we need to recover and we need to recover better, right? And we need to recover more sustainably, and we need to recover in a way that is compatible with climate action. So that, for me, is really nice to see. And then in addition to that, I think these days we are seeing more clearly the effects of climate, right? We're starting to really see the changes in the weather in the different places of the world where we live. And it becomes more and more clear that we are really running out of time if we want to avoid worse changes in what we're seeing already. Here in Germany, for example, we've had the last 3 years, 3 very dry summers, both springs and summers, very dry, which has caused problem with agriculture, and it has started causing concern among authorities about the availability of water in the future, which in Germany has never been an issue because it rains a lot. So people are starting to feel and to experience a little bit now of climate change in their own lives, and this has sparked a lot of attention and a lot of awareness. It's definitely an all-time high, and everybody wants to know what they can do, or the majority want to know what they can do. And we receive, I think, more requests for support and for guidance and etc. than we can actually manage. We keep trying to point people to the right resources where they can find, the help that they are looking for, because we have very limited resources to actually guide organizations or individuals by hand. But it's amazing to see the amount of requests for support and offers also for support and action that we are getting. So those two things combined make me very happy, make me look at the future with a positive outlook. Climate action is really urgent. Right now we are really, really experiencing that it's no joke. We need to act now, or we will be facing very difficult situation very soon. But at the same time, we are seeing the response building up. It needs to be faster, yes. We need to do more, yes. But the willingness and the awareness is there now, which just a few years ago, I could not say the same. So that's super good to see.
That's good news. And I want to thank you for the work that you do at the Secretariat and all the good work that the United Nations Climate Change Secretariat does to advance the cause. And I so appreciate you taking time to talk with me today at the end of your long day.
No, my pleasure. And it's, for me, it's my job, right? This is, I like it. It's not only my job, but it's also a passion. I'm completely aware that the future that I'm leaving to my kids, and not even to my kids, my own future, our own future, right? We will be living the consequences of climate change. We are already starting to live them. So for me, it's a passion. It's something that I like doing, and it's my job to try to support those who are actually doing stuff, right? From our side, from the Secretariat, we support, we try to advocate. We coordinate, of course, the logistics and a little bit more of the intergovernmental process. But the real action on the world outside is being done by others like you. From our side, we just try to keep pushing and providing advice and supporting in any way that we can. But if we are going to succeed in the face of climate change, just like COVID, just like so many other challenges, the racial tensions that you mentioned, and so many other issues that we're facing, it's going to be only we collaborate. That's a key message, right? No one can solve any of these issues on their own, no matter how powerful they think they are, or it's not possible to solve things alone. And this is the value of the UN process. I think sometimes people get frustrated. Why does it take so long to arrive to a decision or to see action happening? Well, because you're trying to change the direction of the whole economy and the whole society. That doesn't happen overnight. So yes, from the perspective of an individual, it seems like forever. But if you look at the evolution of our society, I'm convinced the change is happening really, really fast. It needs to be faster, yes, because we are causing climate change to go exponential. But the change is also happening really, really fast. So just to a very long response to just say that I actually appreciate the opportunity to share with you.
Thank you, Miguel, and look forward to continuing to work with you personally and with the Climate Registry, working with the Secretariat as well to advance all these efforts. So I look forward to talking with you this next year and seeing you in person in Glasgow.
Same here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Miguel. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.